7, 1 in Region 8, 5 in Region 10, and 8 in Region 8 due to fallen trees, flooding, soil collapse, landslide, road slips, damaged bridges, and vehicular accident. The following 16 national roads and bridges closed are 2 in Region 7, 1 in Region 8, 5 in Region 10, 8 in Region 13, Mr. President. No report yet as to the specific damage because of the brownout, no communications, and there was one time I contacted the district engineer and they said that they are still monitoring and assessing the damage, Mr. President. So we cannot really determine yet, but we expect a big damage because the line, the path of the typhoon crosses through from Dinagat, Siargao, goes to Panaon Island in Liloan, in Padre Burgos, Limasawa, and then Maasin, and then going to President Garcia in Bohol, and then to Karkar, Cebu, going to Negros Oriental, Mr. President. So the following 4 national roads with limited access are 1 in Region 10, 3 in Region 13. Our department made some actions which are to mobilize. We have ready equipments deployed at 1,027 units and manpower deployed at 7,586, and it can be augmented with our assistance, the Ayuda program, which is the assistance for the youth and the underemployed, Mr. President. And we have activated the DPWH DRRM teams of possible affected regional and district engineering units. We installed also warning and some barricades. We are doing ongoing clearing operations, and we have instructed our director for equipments to send additional equipments to the areas affected. And continuous monitoring of the status of national roads and bridges, Mr. President. And we ordered also, and in fact, we have purchased additional radio equipments in order that we can contact even if we have no cell sites or cell phones available. At the central office, Mr. President, we have activated the Incident Command Center composed of the Secretary, the Undersecretary for Operations of Mindanao, Visayas, Director for Finance, Bureau of Maintenance, Bureau of Equipment, the Information Management and Communication Service, and the Stakeholders Relation Service, Mr. President. We have released with SARO already, with sub-allotment advice as of 2 this afternoon, 20 million for Region 6, 20 million for Region 7, 20 million for Region 8, 10 million for Region 10, and 30 million for Region 13. Additional funds will be requested for our capital outlay. We have also available assets, Mr. President, like equipments. We focus on Region 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 13 because these are the most affected regions. We have, for Region 5, we have available assets, 148 equipments, and with manpower of 1,148. For Region 6, we have 19 equipments and 622 manpower. Region 7, we have 28 equipments and 477 manpower. Region 8, 199 equipments and 1,238 manpower, Mr. President. Region 10, we have 118 equipments and 687 manpower. Region 13, 90 equipments and 453 manpower, for a total of equipments available 1,027 units of available equipment to be deployed, and some are already deployed, and 7,586 manpower deployed. Today, as an initial action towards assessment of damages, Mr. President, we have instructed all affected district engineering office and regional offices to conduct initial assessment of damages in the respective area of responsibility, should the weather permit, and to warn them not to expose themselves to any danger. Generally, a post-disaster needs assessment is usually undertaken by all RDs and DEOs to identify and revalidate all the reported damages incurred during the visit of a typhoon. This will bring about the cost of damages in terms of infrastructure, and so that we can also provide the agencies concerned, like the DBM and the Civil Defense Office, with program of works to support our submission of damages and corresponding fund allocation. And we will be in contact with the Office of the President and the OCD, Mr. President, for our continuous reporting of the damage of our roads and bridges and flood controls of our affected regions, Mr. President. That's all, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Yes, Mr. President, before the onslaught of Typhoon Odette, we were already repositioning our family food packs and other relief goods in especially in the path of the typhoon. As of now, Mr. President, we are managing 332 evacuation centers in Region 10, Region 11, and in Caraga. But we are still waiting for the report from the other regions because of some challenges on communication. But our regional offices are already there in the area, attending to the displaced people in the disaster area. As of today, Mr. President, we have standby funds of 78.5 millions. These are distributed in the central office and the different field offices. We have a stockpile of 400,000 family food packs from the central office and the different field offices pre-positioned in their respective resource hubs. This is an equivalent amount of 246.3 million pesos, Mr. President. For other relief items, we have an equivalent amount of 627.4 million, Mr. President. And our total standby funds and the stockpile here in the central office and in the different field offices, we have 952.3 million pesos, Mr. President. We are still collating our reports from the ground, and we are submitting our reports to the OCD so that the NDRIMC could have a good picture of what is happening on the ground, Mr. President. So,
yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. President, we are continuously looking after the welfare of our IDPs in the because we are the lead agency for the camp coordination and camp management in the evacuation centers. We are also the lead agency for the provision of the food and non-food items and the IDP protection. We also are setting up child-friendly spaces and women-friendly spaces in the different evacuation center, Mr. President. Our resources in the different field offices are adequate. But kung medyo mabawasan na po ang ating National Resource Operation Center, we'll be augmenting our field offices. As a matter of fact, this morning, we sent off 5 trucks full of family food packs and other relief goods towards Region 10. And we are also sending quick response teams in Cebu, which will depart tomorrow morning, Mr. President.
I've been in touch with them, with Undersecretary Okang Dumama, who is the Field and Implementation Coordination Team Head for Mindanao and Visayas. And this afternoon, I also spoke with the Director of DOH Regional Office Cebu, sir. Yun ang masama. Ang mga health facilities natin ay karamihan mga bubong na tanggal, sir. So I said that as soon as the risk is less, they should start already rebuilding, repairing, because it is very important that those facilities will be restored back to their being able to provide services. And nakapag-preposition na rin po tayo, Mr. President. Did you want me to actually make a presentation now,
Yes,
sir?
go ahead.
Can I have the first slide? I have a 6-slide presentation, Mr. President. Una-una po ang ating Department of Health Central Office and Regional Offices ay nagsagawa ng mga sumusunod. Una, nagtaas po tayo ng code alert bilang paghahanda. At pangalawa, nag-abiso rin tayo sa ating mga regional offices, ang BARM, Ministry of Health, at iba't ibang health facilities ukol sa paparating na bagyo at patuloy ang ating monitoring sa mga weather disturbances through the DOST and PAG-ASA. At mahalaga po sa lahat, nakapag-preposition rin po tayo ng mga iba't ibang gamot at health commodities sa mga probinsya sa tulong po ng ating Provincial Department of Health Officers or PIDOHO. Ang DOH Health Emergency Management Bureau Operations Center ay patuloy na nag-monitor ng health emergencies at nakahanda ang ating pong response teams for deployment kung kinakailangan. At meron din po tayo mga human resources for health sa ating pong PIDOHO na deploy para tumulong sa disaster assessment ng health facilities. Patuloy rin ang ating pakikipag-ugnayan sa ating mga LGUs upang maiabot natin ang health services at masigurong efficient and coordinated ang emergency response natin sa mga komunidad. Katuwang ng ibang ahensya ng gobyerno, ang inyong DOH ay patuloy rin na nagbibigay ng mga paalalang pangkalusugan para po sa ating mga mamamayan na naapektuhan. Para naman po, next slide, para naman po sa logistical support, kasama po sa amin paghahanda ang prepositioning ng drugs, medicines, supplies, water and sanitation, hygiene, augmentation sa ating pong mga DOH regional offices na affected. At ang support na ito ay patuloy namin ino-augment. So meron po tayong 12.3 million worth of medicines, assorted medical supplies, hygiene kits, at ibang COVID-19 supplies na preposition ng ating regional DOH. At meron din po tayong 289.5 million worth of commodities na nakahanda sa ating po mga regional warehouses. Sumatotal po, ang logistical support mula sa DOH ay sa 289.5 million. Hindi pa po kasama rito ang abot sa 66.7 million worth of commodities sa ating DOH Central Office na handang ma-deploy sa mga nangangailangan rehiyon. Patuloy naman susuriin ang pangangailangan ng mga apektadong rehiyon upang makapagbigay ng mga dagdag na tulong. Next slide. Ayon sa mga initial na ating po mga reports na natanggap, ito po ang mga issues at concerns sa ating response effort sa mga heavily affected areas. Una, dala ng pinsala ng bagyo, unstable ang communication lines, power, at water supply sa mga affected areas. Pangalawa po, bagamat hirap sa pakikipag-ugnayan sa ibang mga affected areas, patuloy rin po ang pag-iikot sa ating pong mga health facilities upang masuri ang mga pinsalang natamo dala ng bagyo at baha. So, katulad din po ng ginagawa ng ibang ahensya, nagkakaroon na po ng initial assessment of the damages incurred due to the Typhoon Odette. At pangatlo po naman, ang ating National Vaccination Operation Center ay nakikipagtulungan sa ating Sandatahang Lakas or AFP upang ma-assess ang ating mga vaccination sites, lalo na ang mga cold chain management para sa ating po mga bakuna. Nakikita rin po natin, Mr. President, ang posibleng issue sa ating mga COVID-19 test kits at specimens kung magtatagal ang pagbalik ng kuryente sa mga apektadong lugar. Kaya ginagamit ko po ang pagkakataong ito na makiusap sa Department of Energy na siguraduhin ang ating pong restoration ng mga power lines. Ang kuryente ay napakamahalaga po, lalo na dito po sa mga lugar kung saan andun po ang ating mga logistics for our vaccination program. At yun lang po, magbibigay lang po kami ng mas detalyadong ulat sa lalong madaling panahon as yung po mga karagdagan reports ay pumapasok, magbibigay po kami ng pinakahuling update. Thank you, sir. Yung kasing nagkakaroon na ng damage assessment by now ng mga nasira ng mga healthcare facilities in the affected regions, I'd like to know if we can already directly submit to DBM the required budget for repairs so that we can already work on this immediately. Sa iyo lang, Mr. President. So I just wanted to inform you, sir. Yun lang po, Mr. President. Salamat po.
Good evening, Mr. President, sir. The AAP, as part of the SRR cluster of the NDMC, facilitated in the preemptive evacuation of of those residents in the direct path of the typhoon. And we have deployed 89 teams in the Visayas Command Area and 115 teams in Eastern Mindanao Command Area to conduct search, rescue, and retrieval operations. We have also provided the needed aircraft to conduct rapid damage assessment and needs analysis in Caraga. 4 of the Black Hawks from Davao were transferred to Butuan to conduct this damage assessment, and they were also used to transport communication equipment from Butuan to Siargao. Another aircraft was also dispatched to Bohol to conduct search and rescue operations, and several sorties were conducted this afternoon. We have also alerted our Philippine Navy ships. LD-601, this is the biggest vessel that we have, is alerted and placed on standby in South Harbor. We have also 3 ships in Sangli Point ready for deployment if needed for the transport of relief goods from here in Manila going to the affected areas. We have also placed on alert our Philippine Air Force aircraft, 1 C-130, 1 C-295, 1 212I, and 1 Fokker plane are placed on alert, and they are here at Villamor Air Base, ready for deployment anytime, aside from the Black Hawk helicopters that are in the area. Tomorrow, 2 Black Hawks from Zamboanga will be flying to Mactan, and another 2 Black Hawks helicopters will be flying from Clark Air Base to Mactan Air Base. As to the report of damage camps, so far reported were the damage to some facilities in headquarters BISCOM in Cebu, where the operation center was destroyed, and the commander of BISCOM had to use an alternate area to restore connectivity with general headquarters. Also, the headquarters of 1 infantry battalion in Surigao Norte was significantly destroyed or damaged. This was in Gigakit, Surigao Norte. And another battalion headquarters, 47th IB in Bohol, was also damaged. This was also in the direct path of the Typhoon. So far, no casualty were reported from among the AAV personnel, sir. That would be all for the AAP, sir.
Magandang gabi po, Mr. President. As early po as December 12, I'll be talking about disaster preparedness. Nakapaghanda na po tayo sa 12 regions, 47 provinces, 73 cities, 683 municipalities na posibleng pagdadaanan ng bagyo. So nakapag-issue po tayo ng advisory sa lahat ng LGUs at saka DILG field offices to initiate disaster preparedness protocols. And on December 14 naman po ay inactivate natin ang disaster online reporting and monitoring system. On December 15, base na po sa advisory ng Pag-asa, nagbigay din tayo ng memo at alert sa mga LGUs regarding the intensification of Typhoon Odette into a strong typhoon. At una-una po, tiniyak natin yung presence ng mga local chief executives sa kanilang mga areas. Covering po ang mga region na to, mayroong 1,025 cities and municipalities at nakita po natin 98.6% po ang presence ng ating mga mayors, local chief executives. Accounted naman po sila lahat. At dito po sa paghahanda na to ay sinigurado natin na nai-convene yung mga LDRRMCs ng bawat LGUs na pag-organize ng search, rescue, and recovery teams, medical, security, and clearing operations team. At in coordination din po sa DOH at sa ating mga local health officers, sinigurado natin na ang implementation po ay in accordance din po sa ating effort against COVID-19 and ensuring the compliance ng minimum public health standards. Nakapag-assess din po ng mga evacuation centers sa kanilang functionality and safe use. At ang mga barangay po ay nakapag-activate na ng kanilang barangay Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. Dahil din po sa magandang preemptive evacuation natin, 84,674 families or 338,664 individuals ang nadala natin sa evacuation center. Ito rin po ang dahilan kung bakit napanitili natin na maliit lang ang ating casualties sapagkat sinigurado po natin na talaga ma-evacuate kahit tinatawag nating forced evacuation para lang siguradong ligtas ang ating mga mamamayan. Sa ngayon po ay patuloy tayong nakikipag-ugnayan sa ating mga local chief executives. Areas na lang po ng Southern Samar at saka Dinagat ang walang signal. Unti-unti na rin naman pong buwabalik ang signal. Pero ang priority po natin ay ma-rescue yung mga stranded individuals sa mga flooded areas, particularly po sa area ng Bohol, sa Lubak, Bohol at saka sa Kabankalan, Negros Oriental. in coordination po sa PNP at saka AP at Bureau of Fire Protection, ay nakapag-deploy naman po tayo ng mga search and rescue teams. Sa Bureau of Fire Protection po, ay meron tayong 1,450 fire trucks, 1,054 rescue trucks, at saka 58 ambulance and 16 watercraft na minaman ng 8,926 fire personnel. At ang Philippine National Police po dito sa mga areas, sa mga may mga na-evacuate tayo, 1,423 PNP personnel, 3,285 rescue and special units para po sa mag-conduct ng SRR. At meron po tayong mga nakadeploy na PNP sa 29 vacated or evacuated areas para sigurado naman pong protektado yung mga properties na mga nailikas natin. Sa ibang areas po ngayon na ibabalik na natin unti-unti yung mga nag-evacuate sa kanilang mga bahay. So yun lamang po, Mr. President, patuloy po kami magpag-ugnayan para matugunan yung mga issues at concern ng ating mga LGUs.
Okay po, magandang gabi po Mr. President at saka kasamahan po sa kabinete. Gusto kong ipaalam sa lahat po na bago na dumating ang Typhoon Odette ay nabisuhan na natin yung ating mga farmers and fishers na kung mayroon pang pwedeng i-harvest sa mga mature crops nila ay or sa mga fish pond po nila ay talagang i-harvest na. So marami pong nangyari po na gano'n. Now, with the early warning systems po, ay talagang malaking may tutulong yung abiso ng DOST Pag-asa. At ito nga, we do much coordination with the local government units in regard to advising our farmers. At pangalawa po yung ating monitoring and evaluation of the damage agricultura ay nag-umpisa na. We have to complete this again in partnership with the local government units that in due time po we will submit the detailed report yung damage. Now, ano naman yung nakahanda or preposition na agricultural assistance po para sa ating mga magsasaka at mangingisda? Mayroon po tayong rice seeds na naka-position na po doon sa mga regions concerned. At itong rice seeds, mayroon tayo 42,822 at may halaga po ito na 148 million pesos. Mayroon rin tayo seeds ng mais, 58 million pesos, 12,484 bags. Mayroon din mga buto ng high value crops, 11.1 million 11,132 kilograms worth 45 million at saka fingerlings and biologics. So lahat po ito ay mayroon total na value po 355.26 million pesos po ang na pang-recover po natin sa lahat po na nasalantas sa sektor ng agrikultura. Now, on top of this, Mr. President, ay hinahanda po rin natin yung 500 million para dagdag po sa rehabilitation and recovery, and this will be charged to the Quick Response Fund. So we have a total assistance coming from the Department of Agriculture in amount of 853 million pesos, Mr. President. So yung aming focus pa rin ay talagang kung paano there is a quick turnaround of planting and livestock raising pag umupa na itong Bagyong Odette. So that's all what I can report, Mr. President. In due time, the detailed damage report will be given properly. Marami pong salamat po.
Department of Energy, sir.
Yes.
Yusek Fuentebelli po. Yes, we just like to make an assurance that to the DOH Secretary that we are doing our best, no, na mabalik po kaagad yung mga pangangailangan for electricity and also yung mga gasolinahan. As of Tuesday, 4 o'clock, we already called a meeting for the Task Force Energy Resiliency. Ito po yung nagko-coordinate sa inyo po ngayon. And we have already advised the distribution utilities to conduct yung SOPs nila. Pero importante po na hinabol ni Secretary Cusi na dapat ma-identify saan yung mga bakuna para yun po ang ma-prioritize na maibalik agad kasi baka hindi po tumagal yung mga genset na nandoon sa mga kung saan tinatago yung ating mga bakuna. At dahil po sa bagyo, at tinitingnan po natin yung mga isla na naapektuhan, ito po yung mga planta na hawak ng National Power Corporation. Pag meron na pong kuryente at meron ng komunikasyon, mababalik po kaagad natin yung kuryente dito sa mga islang ito. Pero ang magandang balita po para sa mga power plants na nasa grid, wala pong masyadong tinamaan na power plant, pero ang tinamaan po yung transmission lines. Kaya kung makikita po natin sa mga blue areas, ito po yung mga totally walang kuryente, pero ito po ay ibabalik po natin agad pag nagkaroon na ng assessment at yung troops natin sa ground, makapagtrabaho na po from the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines. Yan po yung mga blue, yung walang kuryente, yung partial na tinamaan po, no, kailangan maibalik pa, yung yellow. At yung mga normal po ang takbo sa transmission, pero kailangan pa po i-check yung distribution, yung mga nasa green areas po. Dito po sa Cebu, tinawagan po ako ni Secretary Cusi habang nag-uusap po tayo kanina at sinabi niya po na kaya nang magbato ng kuryente ng Visayas Electric Company sa Cebu. Kailangan lang po mag-coordinate sa NGCP. Kaya po habang nag-uusap po tayo kanina, natawagan na rin po natin yung NGCP para masagot na po yung pangangailangan ng Cebu at pwede na magbato ng kuryente dahil 95% po ng Visayas Electric Company ay wala pong kuryente. But if the DU is ready, pwede na pong ibalik yan tonight by the transmission sector. Baka po makapag-produce na tayo ng services for electricity by tonight. Ito naman po ang itsura sa Mindanao kung saan Surigao po, yung blue area, Surigao Norte, yung po yung totally wala. Partial po yung yellow tulad ng Misamis, Lanao del Norte, dito po sa Davao Oriental, yung po yung mga partially affected ng transmission. Yung green areas po, tulad nung sa Visayas, ito po yung mga green area ay normal yung operation ng transmission but still we have to check on the distribution utility. So, ito po yung mga report ng NEA para sa mga distribution utilities electric cooperatives kung saan yung estimated cost of damage ay hindi pa po natin nakikita. Pero we have 550 municipalities already restored, partially restored 23 municipalities. For restoration is 348 municipalities that were affected. So, estimate po ng NEA, ang mga tao po na walang kuryente sa ngayon is 3.16 million. So, that being the case, the energy family, also through the market operation suspension, napako na po natin yung presyo ng sa market at 5 pesos 27 centavos per kilowatt hour. At kailangan po rin ma-restore na kaagad yung pagbato ng kuryente ng Visayas to Luzon kasi nagtutulungan po siya once weather permits sa system operations and market operations. So, sa gasolina po, pag nagdeklara na po ng state of calamity yung mga LGU, magkakaroon po tayo ng price freeze para sa kerosene at household LPG. Pero ina-assure po ng DOE na ito pong report ng oil companies, we have sufficient stock on the ground meron lamang pong 78 retail outlets as of 4 p.m. today na nakasarado dahil po may baha or walang kuryente. But we will closely coordinate with the NDRRMC kung meron pong mga ground forces natin na nangangailangan ng gasolina, diesel, kerosene doon sa ground. We will coordinate so that we can talk to the oil companies also para ma-expedite yung services ng products na kailangan para sa restoration. So yan lamang po from the Department of Energy, Mr. President, and to the members of the Cabinet. Maraming salamat po. And also, Mr. President, we may need the assistance also of another agency para mas maganda po yung preparedness ng Department of Energy at Task Force Energy Resiliency. This is the Philippine Statistics Authority. Kasi po, we need the response in the survey on the consumption para po masiguro natin na mas mabilis yung data gathering, para mas mabilis din po yung pagbibigay ng serbisyo ng Energy Family. And these are the members of the Energy Family on the screen that are working 24/7 po para masiguro po na mabilis po yung kuryenteng pagbalik at saka masaya po yung Pasko ng ating mga kababayan.
Mr. President, Mon Lopez, DTI. Kung if it's okay with the President, magbigay lang ako update para sa mga pamilihan naman ng ating mga kababayan. And of course, in terms of yung preparation bago magbagyo, since the other day, ang DTI, Mr. President, started to update yung mga price and supply ng mga supermarkets and retail stores para sa ating mga kababayan to ensure na may maraming supply of especially mga pagkain at mga essential products, masigurado may preposition dun sa mga tindahan. At the same time, ma-establish yung baseline prices in anticipation of this state of calamity na i-declare para yung ma-price freeze may basihan tayo. As of yesterday, Mr. President, yung sa pag-monitor, right before dumating yung bagyo, bukas pa itong mga tindahan and yung mga presyo nila hindi gumagalaw. Yung pa rin basic necessity and prime commodities, ang supply ay stable at ang presyo pareho pa rin. Compliance sa suggested retail price. Maganda ho, mataas ang inventory level. Actually 3 weeks to 1 month. Hindi ho magkakaroon ng shortage sa mga lugar na yon. Kaya mataas din yung inventory level dahil po alam natin, panahon ng Pasko, marami talagang, malakas ho ang volume talaga ng pamimili. Kaya ho na-tiyempong mataas ang mga inventaryo. So walang panic buying na nangyayari. And as of today, nung dumaan na ho yung bagyo, at least may report ho tayo, may mga nagsara ho na mga supermarket temporarily, but like in Cebu, yung sa yung malaking mall na SM, 4 out of 15 ay bukas pa din. Tapos yung mga mall-based nila, 3 out of 3. In other words, yung mga malls nagbukas na ulit nung dumaan na ang bagyo. At 1 out of 12 naman ang bukas doon sa mga labas ng mall. Sa Iloilo, lahat ng stores, supermarket sila ay bukas. Sa Bacolod, 8 out of 12 ang bukas. Ang mga drugstores, convenience stores, open. Ang mga malls sa Leyte, nag-offer sila ng temporary shelter to those who will be affected by the typhoon. Free overnight, yung parking, yung wifi, pati charging stations until December 17. Well, today, no? At I'm sure i-extend po nila yan hanggang kailangan. And then yung mga Pure Gold, Robinson, Save More, open pa rin sila to cater to the basic needs, yung mga essential needs. Ang mga establishment sa Region 10 naman, they remain open despite the flooding. They also offer yung malls for temporary shelter for affected families. Ang mga major supermarkets at Tiangges, bukas pa din. Wala pa hong reported na hoarding and overpricing, binabantayan po natin yon. And finally, we have directed yung mga regional teams ng DTI to assess the extent of the damage, especially dun sa mga malilit na negosyo, yung mga micro SMEs natin, so that we can assist in their rehabilitation through financing o kaya yung pagbigay ng livelihood kits. Yung may budget na nabigay dyan si Senator Bongo para sa mga apektado na mga micro-entrepreneurs. So yung pagka nag-state of calamity declaration ang LGU, automatic po tayo sa price freeze for 60 days. So naka-ready po tayo doon. Just in case mag-declare po sila. Thank you, Mr. President, ng mga kasama.
Yes, pwede po sa DepEd. Yes.
Go ahead.
Earlier, Mr. President, we reported, tulad po ng mga ibang ahensya ng NDRRMC, ay inilabas din namin bago pa po pumasok ang bagyong Odette, yung mga advisories ng DOST Pag-asa. And that's to the more than 47,000 no, na mga paaralan natin. And we also reiterated yung pong mga preparedness protocols and measures ng DepEd to more than 35,000 na mga exposed natin na mga schools, no? At mga doon sa mga bata, no, na nandoon kan mga personnel sa pagdating ng bagyong Odette. With that, Mr. President, we also have through the LGUs announced the suspension of classes sa more than 23,000 schools. At tulad po ng sabi nyo kanina, hindi man natin gustuhin na may mga evacuation centers ng mga schools na ginagamit as evacuation centers, ay sa kasalukuyan po ay meron tayong 671 na mga eskwelahan na ginagamit po na evacuation centers sa bansa. And for now, nag-activate na po kami ng aming tinatawag na Rapid Assessment Damages Report. Ito po ay manggagaling direkta sa mga schools, no? Papunta po sa DepEd Central Office through SMS at kinakalap na nag-uumpisa po kaming mangalap. No? May kahirapan lang po, Mr. President, dahil nga ng sabi na ng karamihan, wala pong kuryente. Sana po ay tulad ng sabi ng DOE ay babalik kaagad ang kuryente para po magkaroon din ng connection ang ating mga communication lines. So yun po at meron din po kaming mga nakaantabay na pondo, Mr. President, para sa assistance tulad po ng mga teachers kits or learners kits. Meron din po kaming mga psychological first aid. Kasama po ginagawa namin ito with DSWD, DOH, at kung kinakailangan po ay kahit emergency school feeding po. At syempre po, Mr. President, doon din sa pagtingin ng mga damages na kailangan makumpune o kaya ay totally ma-reconstruct yung mga infrastructure damages at yung mga kailangang palitan ng mga non-infrastructure na mga masisira po. Of course, sabi nyo nga, medyo limitado na ang pondo at lahat. So we're hoping that the early and mid-term recovery we will be able to attend to that doon po sa pondo darating siguro ng 2022 na po, Mr. President. Maraming salamat po.
Mr. President, from DBM po. Actually, would like to report and also in response to the query of the Secretary of Health, we have agencies with built-in quick response funds po. This includes Department of Agriculture, Department of Health, Department of Education, Office of Civil Defense, DPWH, DSWD, which are already po with the agencies na po yung mga QRF nila. They can immediately tap the same and utilize the same. And once it's already depleted, they can just send to us the request for replenishment of the QRF, which we will be charging from the remaining balance of the NDRRM fund for 2021.
Good evening, Mr. President. Are you referring to me, Sandy Montano of the Philippine Commission on Women? First and foremost, I would like to thank your office. Kasi po na-include na po sa Emergency 911 ang violence against women and children and gender-based violence na kasama pong re-respondihan ng ating mga first responder. Kasi po nakita po natin sa pag-aaral na ang perpetrator katulad po nung nangyaring pandemic ay kasama po ng ating mga women and girls sa bahay po nila 24/7. So nagpapasalamat po kami ng PCW po sa Department of Justice, sa DSWD, especially ang ating mother agency, ang DLG sa Secretary Anyo. At kami po ay natutuwa na alam din po natin na tuwing may calamities and emergencies, ang isa po sa mga vulnerable sector ay ang ating mga kababaihan at ang ating mga bata. Kaya nandito po ang chairperson para umalali po in times of needs and emergency. Maraming salamat, Mr. President.
Secretary Kaintek, yung daming nagreklamo, hindi pa nako-connect yung telecommunications. And even Davao, na hindi naman kasama sa tinamaan ng bagyo, putol yung communications nila for the almost whole day po ngayong araw na ito. Napaka-importante yun, peace of mind ng mga naiwan dun sa Cebu at sa Region 8.
Thank you, Mr. President and Senator Bongo. Ang status po ng sa Mindanao, ang tinamaan po ay ang parang equivalent ng transmission line sa may bandang Surigao. Kumbaga kung saan natamaan, nag-spread yung buong blackout ng transmission ng telecommunications sa buong Mindanao. Affected, I think, partly ang Globe, but then mostly ang Smart. But I've been monitoring them closely. Nagpapatulong sila sa amin para makapunta kaagad ang kanilang mga repairmen and kagamitan papunta sa lugar kung saan nila i-restore. Yung isa pa pong naapektuhan din is yung sa may Leyte. But that's primarily, Mr. President, because of the lack of power. So, tali kami doon sa energy kasi kung walang power, wala ring means para mag-transmit ng signal ang mga towers. So, yung sa Mindanao, apektado kahit yung hindi tinamaan dahil ang fiber mismo ng transmission. Tapos yung sa may Leyte, Samar, dahil lang yun sa kawalan ng power. Pag na-restore ang power, balik kaagad yung kanilang signal. Thank you po.
So ang report po nung NDRMC is they will do the assessment of the extent of the damage. So they're getting lahat ng mga information, and then kung kinakailangan ay iakyat agad sa inyong opisina, sir, ang magiging assessment ng NDRRMC, pati ang recommendations ng NDRRMC through Secretary Lorenzana. But in the meantime, tama po yung sinabi ng DBM na may quick response fund naman na magagamit yung iba't ibang mga department. Then in the meantime, yung ating mga local government units, pag kinakailangan nila mag-declare ng state of calamity locally, meron naman silang karapatan to do that. So, ganun na lang po yung magiging step-by-step process natin, Mr. President. Thank you.